Yes.
All right, cool.
Okay, guys. Guys, as you know, and the reason you're on the call, we have Thomas from Blue70 to talk about wetsuits, their technology, answer any of your questions. So to not waste any more time, Thomas, I'm going to have you take it away.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you guys for taking time out of your Sunday to be here. So I'll just start off with a little bit about Blue70, and then I'll do some wetsuit 101 stuff that's going to apply to every type of wetsuit, just neoprene in general. And then I'll go into specifics about Blue70 products and Blue70 technology. So we started off in 1992 out of New Zealand. We started off as Ironman wetsuits back in about 2005, 2006 timeframe. We switched over to Blue70 to just kind of get out of the box that being an Ironman wetsuit brand is. So to develop our own way and go our own route, we started off as we changed the name to Blue70. Been that way ever since. So like I said, I'll start off with some wetsuit 101, neoprene 101. So the difference between a triathlon wetsuit and every other type of wetsuit is that it's designed specifically for swimming freestyle and open water. The smooth skin on the outside, that very smooth surface that just repels water, is very buoyant and very fast, but it's also fragile. That's the downside. So we always recommend only use your wetsuit for swimming and triathlon, not for anything else, because anything where it can nick or scratch that smooth skin surface is going to be a problem. Wetsuits come in full suits and sleeveless suits. Sleeves are faster and they can go into colder water just due to the extra neoprene you have covering. The ITU stipulates and Ironman stipulates that it can't be any thicker than 5 millimeters. All of our wetsuits comply with that, of course. The whole idea behind wetsuit design is you want the neoprene to be thicker where it doesn't move and thinner where it does move a lot. So somewhere around the core or the back of the legs is going to be a little bit thicker versus like the shoulders and tapering down towards the legs. It's going to be a little bit thinner to allow for that extra movement. Wetsuits are mostly worn for buoyancy over insulation. That extra buoyancy helps keep your legs and your hips on the surface of the water instead of down, which gives you an ideal body position for swimming faster. So everybody's going to swim faster in a wetsuit, whether you're a novice or a pro. The newer you are or the less adept you are, the more of a benefit you're going to get from a wetsuit. But still, in general, everybody swims faster in a wetsuit. So with Blue70 wetsuits, I'll start from the bottom and I'll work my way up. We have our entry-level suit, which is our sprint suit. This is great for somebody just trying out triathlon, just getting into the sport. They don't know how long they're going to be in it yet. So this is a great suit. In the new model, the 2023, we upgraded it to 39 cell neoprene, which is a higher grade neoprene, which is a great little addition for such an entry-level suit. Perfect for your first triathlon. As we go up, our next one is our fusion suit. This is also an entry-level design, but still a small upgrade from the sprint. With that, you're going to get a little thicker neoprene along with a nicer inner lining that's a little bit more comfortable. It's great for a casual triathlete or someone that knows that they're just starting and they know they're going to be in the sport for at least a little while. This is a great suit to go up to. Excuse me. I gotta drink water while I'm doing this. After that, we have our reaction full suit. This also comes in a thermal or a sleeveless. This is our cream of the crop suit. Great performance for a much better price than something like a Helix, for example. It's a very highly durable elite level suit that's going to do about 80% of what the Helix does for a smaller price. It's got great shoulder flexibility. And I don't know if you can tell from the photo, but we have extra paneling on the reaction and then also even more on the Helix that allows you to have a better rotation with your body. Here is our thermal and our sleeveless suits. Thermal is going to get you down to about 56 degrees, 58 degrees Fahrenheit. And then on the reaction, we bumped it up even higher. The lowest we recommend you go on the sleeveless reactions about 65 degrees. I'm sorry, 48 degrees for the thermal, my bad. It has a zirconium liner, so it is a little bit thicker, but it does keep you extremely warm and it's still comfortable. After that, we have our Helix full suit. This is our top of the line model that all of our pros are using and all of our very elite level athletes. It upgrades the shoulders to 40 cell neoprene, which is very flexible and buoyant. It is just very fragile. That's one of the biggest differences between the reactions versus the Helix, is the reaction doesn't have that 40 cell neoprene in the shoulders, which does make it a little bit thicker, but it makes it a lot more durable. We also have lift panels in the back of the legs that help your buoyancy even more. And then the special paneling that we have on the chest is going to really help your VO2 max and your natural chest rotation. Two smaller suits that we have that go on different areas are the glide suit. This is a shorty suit with no sleeves and only goes down to the knees. Great training suit. And great when you're really up there in temperature and you don't want to go to a full suit or even just a regular sleeveless suit because it's right on the cusp of being wetsuit legal or not legal. And then we have our Alliance suit. Our Alliance is designed for the swim run, as swim run became a huge thing in the past couple of years. The difference with the Alliance suit is it's made to be cut all the way on the arms. You can cut it off and make it a sleeveless if you would like. It's also going to have anchors for you to attach paddles to. It's also going to have a nutrition pouch in the back. The Alliance suit has a front zipper, and the whole idea behind that front zipper is for you to be able to take the suit off or take the top part of the suit off when you're doing a run, in between a run and a swim. Allow yourself to cool off a little bit. Excuse me. So with wetsuits, one of the things they do is provide insulation, like I mentioned before. Temperature tolerance is going to vary greatly based off of every individual. Generally, 60 degrees is when you're getting pretty darn cold. And once you get below 55 is when you're getting really, really, really cold. Where our office is based in Seattle, we actually have a lot of guys that will swim out there in the Sound, and it's about 48 degrees, 52 degrees regularly, and they're swimming without anything on. I think it's wild. I don't understand it, but you can get down to that cold. On the flip side, 74 to 75 degrees is when you're getting pretty warm for a wetsuit. And then anything above 77 isn't allowed in a race. That's when you're starting to get really warm, and then in races, Ironmans, that's when they do the cutoff. When you get down to the really cold weather and need some extra stuff to keep you warm, we do offer thermal gear for a little extra layer of protection. Our thermal cap has a zirconium lining along with the headband to give you even more insulation right where all the heat always tends to leave your body. The thermal headband is great if the thermal cap is a little bit too restrictive, or if you're running in a race where they won't allow you to cover up the race cap that they give you. The headband will at least keep your ears warm, and right on your forehead where the water hits your head and you're breaking the water, that's covered with a little extra lining of neoprene. The same thing goes for the socks and the gloves, give you a little bit extra layer of protection to help keep you going in really cold water. The thermal gloves are not allowed in a race. You can wear the thermal socks, but in general, a triathlon will not let you use the gloves. It's considered a propulsion aid. So keep that in mind. When we go to non-wetsuit legal races, we developed our swim skins for the warm water. They don't provide any buoyancy, but they are still going to be faster than racing in your bare skin. It's made of the same material as our competition level tech suit. So it's going to come with a hydrophobic coating fabric that water just slips right off of. It's one of my favorite things to do is when you get a new suit like this, just take a bottle of water and pour it on the suit and watch the water roll off. It's amazing. These are designed to fit over your tri-kit. Do not wear them when you're biking or running. The whole idea behind the sleeves was it would come down to cover your whole tri-kit, but we found more and more that our elite level athletes like the sleeveless for the less restriction in the shoulders, and they just let the tri-suit hang out. This is still going to be way faster than, like I said, just going bare skin. And the whole point with a white back is your back is facing the sun. So when it's really hot outside, that kind of keeps you a little bit cooler, or at least not overheating if it were to be a darker back. When it comes to making sure your wetsuit fits, there are a few things to take into consideration. It's the most important factor, because if your wetsuit doesn't fit right, you're going to carry water. And if it's too tight, you're not going to be able to get the right range of motion you need for the races. Blue70 offers the most size options with 9 different sizes for the guys and the girls than any other company out there, allowing us to fit everybody. We have a size for everyone. Sometimes things have to be tweaked here and there, but we do have so many ranges and we pay such close attention to our size chart that there's going to be a size for everybody. Size is based off of your height and your weight, with weight meaning more than your height, as rubber can stretch more vertically and less vertically, and vice versa, can only stretch one way. So if you're in between, we generally try and size you on the lower side just to be on the safe side, because we'd rather it be a little bit too tight than too loose to keep it from carrying water. Some tips when you're picking it out: trust our size chart. If you're on our new website that we just launched, it allows you to input your height and your weight, and it'll tell you your exact size, or it'll tell you if you should probably get in contact with one of us to double check and make sure you're the right size if you're in between 2 different sizes. If you are going to do that, you can use our online chat, where 90% of the time you'll be talking to me, or you'll be talking to the guy that actually designed the wetsuit in the first place. It's kind of one of the benefits of us being a small company. And when your suit comes in, we have a 30-day return or exchange policy. So we highly encourage you to try on your suit the second you get it. And we also mean try it out in the water. When people are, especially if they size down, they get their suit and they realize it's a little tight. The big thing is to hop in the water, because the suit will loosen up in the water. The number one thing that loosens up is the chest. So a lot of times, if you think the chest is too tight, please take it for a swim and try it out and make sure, because it's going to be the biggest thing that's going to open up. When you're putting on your wetsuit, another way to make sure it fits correctly is making sure you have the neoprene in the right spots of the body to allow it to be used to its full potential, instead of being stuck down somewhere where it's not being used at all and restricting your movement. So the whole idea is to have as much neoprene up the top of the suit as possible. So you want to pull your legs up until they're nice and snug around the groin and the crotch area, and then put your arms in and still work your way getting neoprene up the suit. That's going to free up some extra rubber to allow that tight chest to be a little bit relieved. And then same thing with the arms. If you pull the neoprene up the arm and into the shoulder, it'll give the shoulders a little bit more neoprene to move around with and help with your range of motion to make it a little bit more comfortable. It's completely okay for your wetsuit to be mid forearm in order to have the extra rubber you need in the shoulders. Same thing with the legs. It's completely okay for it to go up to about your mid calf in order to get the extra rubber you need up the chest to be a little bit more comfortable. Taking care of a wetsuit's another big thing. Wetsuits are expensive and you want to make them last as long as possible. Once again, with Blue70 suits, our suits are very well designed and they last way longer than any other wetsuit out there. The big thing is to wash your suit after every single time you use it, whether it's practice or not. And you can just bring it into the shower with you and rinse it off in cold water. You don't throw it in the laundry. That's a very bad idea. But just rinsing off the chlorine, the salt water, and just the dirt and soot from fresh water are all things that are going to destroy the suit if they're left on the suit and it dries out that way. So wash it out with cool water, let it air dry in a cool, dry, climate-controlled, preferably place. This will allow it, you don't want to put it into a hot place, sorry. You don't want to let it dry out in an extremely hot place. We see this in the South a lot, of where you'll wash your wetsuit, you'll throw it over your deck railing to where it's touching each other, and then the very hot sun actually will melt the rubber and fuse it together. So we recommend please do it in a climate controlled spot and let it air dry without folding it up or anything. Let it hang or let it sit somewhere. Don't fold it until it's completely dry. That way you can avoid any sort of mold or mildew buildup on the suit. Once it's dry, you can store it, preferably same thing, inside in your closet is a preferable spot, climate controlled. You can fold it or hang it. Either way, it doesn't matter. We only recommend that you store it inside out. That, like I mentioned earlier, that smooth skin surface is very fragile, but the lining on the inside is virtually indestructible. So by storing it inside out, you're protecting that outside liner. And if you're going to hang it, in order to keep some tension off the shoulders, take the legs and fold them up over the shoulders so they're kind of hanging on top near the neckline on the hanger. That'll keep some weight off the shoulders and help last it a little bit longer. After a long time in storage, if you store it for half the year when you're not really doing too much racing, and you bring it back out, a lot of people like to rehydrate their suit. This is completely okay, just soaking it in some fresh water in the bathtub or something like that. That's completely okay. However, just keep in mind that it's not going to make the suit brand new. It's still going to have its use from previous years. It doesn't do that much to make it brand spanking new, which people think it will do sometimes. When you're bringing a suit out of storage after a long time, the main thing to do instead of rehydrating it is to check the zipper. A lot of times stuff will get stuck in there and it'll break the zipper. When you have it on, you're just yanking on it to try and get past that. So when you get the suit out for the first time, just zip that thing up a few times in and out nice and slowly in order to make sure that there's nothing stuck in the grooves there and keeps the zipper from breaking. The biggest thing we see at the beginning of every season is broken zippers. That's the most common wetsuit tear we see. All of our suits are made to be cut on the legs only and about 6 inches up. If any of you guys have a Blue 70 suit now and you take it and you take the legs and you turn them inside out, you'll see a double tape seam that goes up about 6 inches on the legs. All along that double tape seam is completely okay to cut to whatever comfortability you would like. Do not cut past that double tape seam because the double tape seam keeps the whole suit together when you do cut it. Cutting past that seam, it'll unravel the suit very slowly. The two big reasons for cutting are for comfort or just speed of getting out of your suit. For a lot of our elite athletes, that extra 5-10 seconds it'll save you to just flick the suit off by cutting it up a little bit higher is a big difference for them. So they'll go ahead and do that. Anti-chafing is also a big thing when it comes to comfortability, as the neoprene can rub, especially on the neck. With anti-chafing creams or anything like that, the big thing is no petroleum-based products. Petroleum will ruin the wetsuit and degrade the neoprene. So anything vegetable or water-based lubricants are completely okay. Pam cooking spray is a really popular one, especially if you're in a last-second pinch and you have nowhere to go. On our website, we have a product called Body Glide. Body Glide is its own separate company, but we sell it on our website. Sorry about my dogs. That is a great thing to use. It's completely wetsuit safe. Great to use on the neck, or if you're trying to help get it on, using it on the ankles and the forearms. Some other stuff that we have that complements, that goes with your wetsuit is going to be things like our bags and our goggles. Great for all open water swimmers with anything, with whatever you're doing. So we have our HydroVision goggles that are polarized, which really help with glare and spotting when you're in the open water. We have things like our buddy bag, which is designed to float behind you to help spot if you are an early morning swimmer or evening swimmer in an area with a lot of boat traffic. This is a great thing that'll keep you bright and seen by boats in the water to keep you a little bit safer. It's also a dry bag. That way you can put your keys or anything in there that you need to get back into your car. That way you don't have to dig a hole under your tire and store your keys under there and hope that no one takes it later on. So it's a great thing to have. I don't recommend putting your phone in there, leave that in the car, but putting your keys in there as a little bit safer of a thing for all your valuables in your car is a great thing. We also have our new destination bag. This is our biggest bag that we've have so far. It's going to be able to fit everything from your wetsuit to your helmet, everything you need for a triathlon is going to be able to fit in that bag. The bottom compartment that you might be able to see in that picture is a wet compartment for all of your wet gear, for your wetsuit after the race and stuff like that. And that's kind of what I got for you guys today. And then I'll open it up to the floor for any questions you guys have. It's a perfect opportunity.
Awesome. That was great. Thomas, I see. So what they do here is they just type in the chat their questions. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and read them out for you.
Okay, perfect.
For the first one, Alex asked, can you explain the down zipper on the Helix? Is it more secure?
It's not for security. We have the reverse zipper for speed of transition. Being able to, with the way the zipper's placed, it's harder to zip up, but when it comes to in transition, it's a lot easier in the button or in the zipper's place to just go the zip it right up and comes right off. So it's for speed of transition more than anything.
Good to know. I actually didn't know that answer, so that was helpful. Guys, as I read this next question, if you guys have any specific questions about wetsuits, swim skins, etc., please type it in the chat. So Todd asked, can you tell us what differentiates your design technology for flexibility in shoulders from your competition? And then he mentioned a company like DeBoer.
Like company like what?
DeBoer wetsuits.
Oh, I'm actually not familiar with them.
Really? Okay.
I'm sure the designer definitely is. I haven't heard that company. I probably have a long time ago. Yeah. The biggest thing is going to be our paneling and our I want to say our testing. Is our paneling has been 30 years in the making now, and we have, for something like the Helix, for example, it optimizes not only helps you stay afloat, and it helps with your body rotation with the way the paneling goes, where we put thick versus thin neoprene to allow for a more natural body rotation, along with stuff around the chest in order to help the chest be able to breathe and get that VO2 max that you need. So we use a very high-end neoprene to do that. But we make sure, like one design example I'm going to use is we use a high quality neoprene without going above the threshold where you start getting into very, very high quality, but extremely, it's like paper type of fragile type of fabric. So it doesn't last long at all. So we do we do the best job possible to make sure we're developing a elite level suit that's designed for swimmers to help you swim as well as last long. It's the biggest thing that we hear anecdotally is our suits last longer than any other suit. I mean, generally speaking, if you're using your wetsuit on a regular basis, you're going to get about 1 to 2 years out of it. And on a regular basis is swimming in it like 4 to 5 times a week, possibly. Our wetsuits, if properly taken care of, they'll get you up into the 5, 6, sometimes 7 year range. The best example I'll tell you is we have a team out in California that swims in very cold water every single day. So they're using their thermal reactions every single day, 6 times a week out in the open water. A lot of those customers or those team members, they're on about their 5th or 6th year using the same suit, which is incredible value for the extra money you might have to pay in order to get that longevity out of it.
Awesome. Yeah, and I will also provide feedback for all of you. One of our athletes just got this wetsuit, and compared to other wetsuits, felt less restricted. So exactly what Thomas is saying, like in the chest up to the neck. You know how some of them go like right up into the neck, and you feel that extra restriction. He felt like this was the best that he'd ever felt in a wetsuit. So, and then we have 2 more questions here so far. If you do have a tear or rip in the wetsuit, is it repairable? Like, what do you do in that case?
So if it's a tear that goes through that lining on the inside, it's going to be a lot harder to repair. We recommend not repairing it. It's that once that liner gets damaged, the suit, the integrity is really lost. If you have a deep nick in the suit, but it doesn't go through that liner, we offer something called neoprene cement, Aquaseal, I believe. Is the brand. Any of those neoprene cements are actually, they're lifesavers, and they work extremely well. It's not just putting a a Band-Aid on the issue. It'll actually, if it's just a nick that goes down without breaking that lining, it will do a great job of keeping it together. And you can, if you nick the suit while putting it on before the race, that AquaSeal dries fast enough to where you can still get it in before the race starts. When we were at Ironman a couple of years ago, we were doing wetsuit repairs on the spot up to an hour before the race even started. So the AquaSeal is the best way to go. If it's a bigger tear, or it goes through the lining just a little bit, you can also reach out to us and we can work on possibly getting it repaired. But that's a case-by-case scenario based off the damage to the suit. If you email, I can give you guys all the contacts afterwards, but if you email support@Blue70 with some pictures of the suit, they can help you with that. Or you can have Natasha just send it to me.
Awesome. And then last one, just based on the time we have available, can you go over your swim skin offerings and just talk about that one more time, as far as why would you invest in a swim skin versus just your tri kit, when obviously it doesn't provide buoyancy, and kind of what are the time savings that you are actually seeing from someone putting a swim skin over their tri suit?
Let me go back to that slide while I talk about it. Yes, so your tri kit's still going to absorb water, where the fabric here is much thinner and it's not going to absorb water at all. And it's going to give you a hydrophobic coating on the outside of your body that just repels water. It's much easier to show in a demonstration, but it's like I said, it's the same fabric design than our elite level tech suits that swimmers will wear at competitions like trials and things like that. It's also going to add a layer of compression that your tri suit doesn't have. The compression helps with muscle fatigue for longer swims, which is going to be really nice. The big thing you're getting off of it, the number one thing you're getting off of it, is that hydrophobic material on the outside that just resists water and repels water to allow you to be a lot more hydrodynamic in the water.
Perfect.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
I wish I had a video here. I could show you guys when you pour water on it.
Yeah.
That's the easiest way to show.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay. No, I think that's all the questions we have for today. Thomas, thank you so much for your time and your presentation. And then is it okay if anyone has any further questions that maybe didn't ask to send them your email? Because this obviously goes out in a Zoom, in a recording to everyone as well.
So I'll put a few things in the chat here. So my email is thomas@blue70, extremely easy to remember. That if you have any further questions or anything like that, feel free to email me. Another great resource is myfirstwetsuit.com. That is a Blue70 wetsuit or Blue70 website that we designed. It's going to have a few videos in there that are going to give you some tips and tricks on anything from putting your wetsuit on to the first time, taking your wetsuit off quickly. We even have a video on how to zip up your helix by yourself, which is challenging unless you're really flexible. That is also a great resource. I'll put that in the chat as well. Excuse me. Firstwetsuit.com. So that's a great resource if you want to look up some quick videos. You can also email me. The other big one is if you're on our website and you have a question, feel free to use the chat feature on our website. 90% of the time when you're doing that, you're going to be speaking to me. So it's another easy way to reach out to me. And if you're not speaking to me, you're going to be speaking to the other guy that's on there, which is the designer of the wetsuits himself. So two great, really easy ways to get in contact with us. Like I said, another big benefit of us being a small company. You have that access to knowledge like that.
Awesome. Okay.
And with that, I appreciate you guys taking your time and being here today. It's great working with NVDM, and I look forward to talking to you guys again. And maybe I'll see you somewhere at a race. I go to various races here and there, so hopefully I'll see you guys.
Yeah, hope to. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you have a good Sunday evening and rest of the week.
And enjoy your Sunday. Have a good week.
Bye, y'all.